Hey everyone, it's Ashley at Hello Idaho, and I am so excited. You know that I am super committed to leading the nation in education and having really hard conversations around education and your children. And today I have someone that is a treat. Dana Bats, like the bat, right? She's a 30-year-old veteran and she's raising 2 kids with autism and she's living in Idaho. Welcome, Dana.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so grateful that you're willing to go and talk about this with me.
Yeah, I'm absolutely ready for it too.
Yes.
My kids deserve the exposure for sure.
Let's start from the beginning. You came here from?
I came here from California, but I've lived in a few other places too while I served.
Right. So you're a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hear a little bit of your backstory.
So I went into the Air Force in 2012 and I served just shy of 4 years. Just before I deployed, I was spending time with a friend in my barracks, and she had a 90-day-old baby, and she asked so many people to, switch deployments with her, and nobody wanted to. I just didn't think it was right that nobody was willing to do that for her. So I went to go and deploy, and we had to qualify. And during my qualification,
what does qualification mean?
Yeah,
for people who don't know?
Whenever you do your qualifications, it's to make sure that you're up to speed on using your weapons before you go overseas. So you have to qualify with your weapons. Mm-hmm. And my M-Floor blew up in my hands.
Wow.
So I almost wasn't able to go. And I was fortunate that I just barely made the cutoff to still be able to go for her. While I was overseas, I met my husband. Yeah.
So it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, for
somehow.
sure. Yep. Because she went on my deployment and she met her husband on my deployment.
Wow.
Yeah. We've both been married 7 years and we both have 2 children.
Wow.
So, yeah. So it was definitely divinity for sure.
Divine timing.
Yeah, exactly. And out of that deployment and, all the challenges I went through, I had 3 surgeries on my wrists after I got back. We ended up being together about a year later, and after we got back, and we have 2 beautiful little girls.
What's your husband's name?
Joshua.
And what are your little girls?
Aurora and Lila.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Aurora's 5 and Lila's 4. And we noticed, a little bit ago, probably about 2 years ago, that Lila was a little, different, and that she wasn't developing the same way that, quote unquote normal kids do. And we just decided that we needed to see what was available for her, the resources. So we started getting her worked on and tested and things like that. And all of the pediatricians that we saw definitely were like, yeah, we believe it's autism.
Did you see pediatricians in California?
Yeah, and here too.
And
so
Boise?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So with the pediatricians, the biggest thing is they can only put us on a list for her to be neurologically tested. And in California, it's 18 months to 2 years before they'll test them. Just the wait list is that long. And then out here in Boise, it's 6 to 9 months. And
so if you're diagnosed with that, like if you find that they're on the spectrum, right, is what they would call it, then what's the process?
So they go through and they get their testing done. And then once they get their testing done, that's when the resources really start just pouring out. The best thing to do is to get them tested through the school district first. They can do the preschool testing first. And then while they're waiting to get neurological testing, and once they do the neurological testing, then there's more kind of avenues that open on resources when it comes to just people to be around different groups, other adults and families that know what it feels like to be going through that.
Is there a big community of that in Boise?
There's a pretty big community. One of the things that I ultimately want to do is kind of figure out how to connect all of us better. One of the best places and it's an absolute blessing was Rock Harbor Church. Yeah, because they actually it's called a buddy program. And it's literally for kids with autism and Down syndrome and kids with exceptional abilities is what I like to call them.
Yeah, superpowers.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And they actually assign a buddy to each child so that the parents can go and sit in service and not have to worry. So
amazing.
It's incredible. And then they give you a lot of resources for that as well. So
how many kids are on the wait list here?
I don't know. They don't really give out the information.
They tested in California.
Yeah. So they don't give out information like that. But
when you say this is the
I guess it's the neuro center, because they say, okay, we have to put you on the wait list, and it's 6 to 9 months.
Is that a state run?
Yeah.
program?
So it's through, I think this one's through St. Luke's, if I remembered.
Okay.
But you go through the pediatrician, and the pediatrician refers out.
I see.
And then they do the testing.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Just want to really make it clear, because there's so many moms that I know that are struggling with this decision. How do I get my child help if I feel like I need my child to have help? Number one. Yeah. And number two, how do I make this a kitchen table conversation? How do we end the taboo and the stigma around it? So if you're a mom or a dad going through this, they okay to reach out to you?
Yeah. I mean, they're more than welcome to reach out to me. I don't have as many resources as other people, I'm sure, but
when you say that, like, other people with giant resources for this?
So
I'm gonna track them down.
Yeah, there's some people that are actually at Rock Harbor that do have a lot more of the information too. That's been honestly our saving grace since we've been out here. We moved here a little over a year ago.
Yeah,
but we also found that the Katie Beckett program is out there for families with children with autism.
Katie?
Yep, Beckett, Beckette,
okay.
I believe.
Okay.
And you go through the process where they qualify you for if you're qualified for like Medicare or Medi-Cal kind of thing. I guess it would be Medicare here. And then once you go through that process, they have you come in and they ask you a bunch of questions, just interview you essentially, and see if you're qualified for that program. And then they just give you a lot of resources and access. And sometimes they give you like funds too.
To figure out how to help take care of your child and get the extrasensory or the whatever they need, right?
Yes.
And so what do you specifically have the most struggles with, like with your kids? Like what's the challenge?
Honestly, it's more emotional than anything, because I want to be able to be a voice for my daughter. I want to understand her more, and she has limitations with her communication. Both of them do. Lila's on the more severe end of the spectrum. Aurora's a little bit on the higher end, where she's a little bit more functional, but she has the autistic tendencies.
And what do those look like?
So for Aurora, she asks the same question 3 times. It's kind of like she gets the answer and she understands it, but then she'll ask it again. And so there's like
what color is that? What color is that? What color is that?
Or my favorite lately is, Mommy, are we going to church tomorrow? And it's adorable. So that would be like the biggest one for her. Lila has a harder time with like sensory processing. So if there's a lot going on around her, it can be very, very overwhelming. So we like to put headphones on her and give her some music so that she can control the volume. That really helps her. But those I'd probably say are the 2 biggest ones, especially when, you're tired and you've been through, a lot that day and we're all stressed out. We want to decompress, and we have my little bugs, going, hey, Mommy, the same question 3 times,
Yeah.
So, and then Lila having her, we call them episodes, because she has those moments where she's just losing it, and it's just because she's overwhelmed too. So all of us are overwhelmed, and then we just sit down, and most of the time we just give it up to God. We try and pray and just go, give us some grace and some patience and some calm right now. We want to figure out how to do this better, and that can really help. But listening to music really helps our whole family too.
Yeah,
so
what a great idea is a beautiful example of someone who's doing it in a healthy way, right?
Yeah, for
it's okay
sure.
to have these conversations, and that's what we're talking about today. So where do you see the future? You're going to be here for the long term in Idaho, right? You came here to raise a family in a healthy way. Is that why you left California?
Yeah, California. I mean, there's a
girl, we know there's a
people
dumpster
that
fire. It's okay. It's just
there is a group of people though that are like pretty great, but you want to know the funny thing is, they're moving out of California.
Bad leadership. Yeah. Dumpster fire leadership has resulted in all conservative people moving to Idaho. Let's just be honest here.
Right. So, I mean, there's some people that are stuck there. Like my parents are fantastic, but they've got businesses there, and my grandparents too. So, but we moved out here because we wanted to raise a family, and we wanted to raise them in an environment that wasn't so work forward, but more family forward. Yeah. And that's why we really love being out here. And we actually moved here and never been here before, never visited, never at all. We just
brave.
Yeah. Well, my husband and I had done it before, being in the military.
Yeah. But, normal for you.
But moving with no friends, no family out here, and never being here before, it was a total Hail Mary, and it was totally worth it.
Well, you're about to have lots of friends now because Hello Idaho is about making friends, right?
Yeah,
and figuring
for sure.
out how do you network in your side of your community. So people want to reach you. What is the easiest way for them to reach you?
So either Instagram, and I love interacting with people on my Instagram, especially if you have things to like to give and bring forward and to share and have great conversation. But the other thing is they can always reach me on my website too. I really love interacting with people, so I'm
What's
open
the
either way. It's evolutionempresscoaching.com. And then my Instagram is the Evolution Empress with periods in between each word.
The Evolution Empress with periods in between. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've developed a coaching business out of and a helping people business out of this, a necessity for helping people.
Yeah. I especially women, because all of us have a different understanding when it comes to what we've been through physically, mentally, and emotionally, especially when we have children, but also in our past relationships as well. And that trauma can really affect who we are today. One of my clients that I had this past year gone through a nasty divorce and had a really rough time identifying who she was again and realizing her strength and who she really is and her gifts. And we really broke that down and worked on that with her. And she's doing fantastic now. She's got like this spice of life in her again.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Helping people, right? That's why we brought you on today, because I know that this will help a lot of people.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Thanks for coming on today. The evolutionempress.com.
Yes.
Or yes,
the Evolution Empress on Instagram.
Okay, the Evolution Empress on Instagram. This is good.
Yeah.
And what's your website?
evolutionempresscoaching.com. Yes.
Thanks, Dana.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So if you want to follow Dana, go to evolutionempresscoaching.com or go to Instagram, the.evolution.empress with periods in between the.evolution.empress. Join us next time on Hello Idaho. If you have a story that you want to share and you know that it will definitely affect the community and help them, please reach out to me. helloidahopodcast@gmail.com. I will see you soon. Thanks, Idaho. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Hello Idaho. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe so you can see the next one. The episode has also been sponsored by cowboyoutlets.com, where you can get all of your Western wear needs, especially those boots you've been looking for, at a great deal.